We have even more Deadlock leaks, everyone. I'm gonna have to start calling this channel Dead Unleaked. Am I right? Anyway, hey everyone, this is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and yeah, we've got another big leak today. This one actually comes yesterday. I just didn't have time to make a video about it, but wanted to hop on. And this leak is actually pretty tricky because I think in some ways it validates what we saw earlier in the day. I guess this was yesterday with the kind of hero roster leak that we talked about. I think this actually serves to validate that and honestly give me more confidence that this is going to be the hero roster coming out probably either with open beta or at least the next major update. And the reason why is because obviously we have this interesting new kind of like hero select screen where you're kind of creating the roster of heroes that you're going to queue with. Obviously we have a lot of cool things going on here with kind of it showing off the characters with a little bit of splash art in the background, giving you a little bit about, in a stylistic way, kind of what the character's known for. So hook, bomb, punch being kind of the core essences of Bebop's kit, right? But I think we find a lot of interesting stuff in the character arts over here. This is actually the main thing I want to talk about because I think this is actually what, I don't want to say proves the leak, but it gives me even more confidence that it is probably legitimate. So if you look at the video we put out yesterday, the last video with all of the kind of hero key arts and whatnot, we saw a lot of new imagery for some of the new heroes, like Bookworm, like with Punk Goat, with Pocket, like we saw a lot of updated art on that kind of screen. And on this one, we actually see even more updated art. We see new versions of what we'd seen previously, as well as some other new changes in general. But they do line up, and it does seem to kind of, like I said, validate that. So let's take a look at it. So on the top row, the main things we have that I want to point out are Calico has a different image that you're looking at here. This is not something we've seen before, her and Ava just chilling. And then Drifter looking even more sinister. This is different from the image yesterday. So again, this could just be that they're giving them an alternate, kind of character art on the hero select screen versus in like maybe the heroes tab of the new version of the game, right? Not exactly sure. Or it could just be that they're still toggling between two. I honestly don't know. Nothing new on this row. On this row, and I don't think so anyway, I could be wrong, but I think the second row is chill. Some of the new arts here, I think the Geist and Lash one are maybe slightly different. I'd have to look at yesterday's image. The more I think about it, though, these might actually just be the same. But this third row, Bookworm and Pocket are actually, I think they look different. So I think that these are two more kind of new, updated versions of these kind of character key arts, right? Same thing for, I think his name's Priest. And then definitely same thing for Vindicta. So Vindicta had, obviously, she has a new look in the other one, in the other leak that kind of came out. But this one, head's positioned a different way. It's a different facial expression right altogether. So seeing multiple different images of things like this, to me, just serves to validate the case that this probably is a legitimate leak. Again, it still is just that. I don't want to come out in here and say, like, this is 100% real. But all things considered, this does look real to me. Other things going on in this image, still looks like in the next iteration of the game, or maybe this is going to go away, but you do have to have a minimum of 3 heroes still to queue. So that is going to still be the way that you queue for Deadlock, probably in the major update. That's something to note. Now, this could go away, and it could just be that there's different kinds of queues and all that kind of stuff. Like, there could be more coming to this. This could be like a first draft of a paper, right? Like, there could be more iterations to come. But it is interesting that we're probably going to have 3 heroes left to queue still. And I like what they were doing with this art style. I think this kind of gives an interesting look to the hero select screen. It certainly makes it more dynamic than it is now, where you're just kind of picking from a row of heroes. There's not really much personality or flair or art to it. And I like this this version of what they're doing so far. I would think that if you hovered over these abilities, you'd probably get the ability to see what they do. Could help newer players kind of coming in, figuring out what hero they want to play based on what they do, right? So, all in all, I don't want to yap too long about this one. I like these changes. I like the direction that it looks like Deadlock is going in. This just, this feels like a proper hero roster queue screen, right? So I'm very, very excited about that. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed. Like I said, I wanted to come on here very quickly, not waste any time today, because this leak is, about a day old now, so wanted to quickly get to this rather, but don't want to take too much time on it. But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Community's already talking about it. It's the original post on Reddit. I'll link it in the description as well. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, very grateful for all the likes and subscribes we're getting and all the views on the channel. I think this will be the last leak, I would think, that we're going to be covering for a little bit. I'm sure there's more things that could leak, but I imagine these just kind of both came about in the same way that they kind of, came up when the new update was pushed out. So, yeah, that's it for us over here at Dead Unlocked, though. Thank you all so much for tuning in, as always. From our house to yours, we'll see you all next time.